Kia ora koutou. Ko Angela Caves tauko ingoa. No mai, haere mai. I'm the Digital Events Manager with Digital Boost, and I'd like to welcome you to the Business Growth and Support Virtual Conference. In this conference, we are looking at support in the top of the South Island, so Nelson, Tasman, Marlborough, and the West Coast regions. Welcome to session 5 of the conference. This is our last session of the day. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join our webinar. It's wonderful to have you all here, and a warm welcome to those who are joining via our live stream. So we've got a live stream on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All sessions of the conference are being recorded and they will be uploaded to a YouTube playlist for post-event viewing, and we'll distribute that to all registered attendees. I'd like to introduce James from Connected. Connected is our collaborating partner organisation on this conference. James is going to run through how the webinar is going to work, and then he will introduce our presenting guests from the Ministry of Social Development. Thanks very much, James.
Kia ora koutou. My name is, as Angela said, my name is James Rowan. I'm the Employment Liaison Advisor for Connected here in Marlborough. And just to introduce the Ministry of Social Development, it's about the ministry itself is all about helping build successful individuals and in turn building a strong, healthy families and communities. And it's a really big job. And by doing so, they're working by providing employment, income support and superannuation services, funding to community service providers, social policy and advice to government, student allowances and loans, and social housing assistance. This is not work that they do alone, working closely with other government agencies, non-government organisations, advisory and industrial groups, and communities in iwi. Together, MSD aims to make a positive, lasting difference in the lives of New Zealanders. Today, we're focusing on what the Ministry of Social Development does in the employment space across the top of the South. And so it's a pleasure to introduce Anita Hyde, who is a work broker, and Shuri Tawhai, who is a labour market advisor, who are going to talk about what they do to support employment across the top of the South. And we're going to start off with Anita. So welcome, Anita, and please take it from here.
Thank you, James, and thank you, Angela. I'll just share my screen so that hopefully you can all see that presentation.
That's good.
Great. So no mai, haere mai, welcome to this presentation on the MSD's Top of the South Regional Employment Team. Ko Anita Hyde tōku ingoa. My name's Anita Hyde and I'm a work broker for MSD. Thanks to our colleagues at Connected and Digital Boost for hosting this conference. It's great to have the opportunity to speak to you all about our services. So I'm one of 14 work brokers in the Top of the South employment team. We also have 2 employment coordinators who work with our clients who have a health condition and are ready to return to employment, either part-time or full-time. Our region covers from Kaikoura through to Tasman and then down to Haast on the West Coast. Our team work with other agencies within the sector to respond to challenges within our local labour market. We have a strong relationships with local employers and industry, which in turn builds our knowledge of the labour market trends and allows us to prepare job seekers to meet the needs of our local employers. Work and Income provide a free recruitment service. We would list your vacancy, which is then visible around the motu. Our aim is to help find the right person by pre-screening the candidate prior to making a recommendation to employers. This can be done by us face-to-face or over the phone. And once we are sure that they meet your requirements detailed in the job description, we will send you their CV outlining why we think this person is an ideal candidate for your business. All of our sites have interview rooms available for you to use, or we can set up Zoom meetings for those interviews. We also have a range of products for employees needing upskilling or additional support in their new roles. FlexiWage is one of the ways we're supporting more New Zealanders to get into work. You can get help to hire staff, get the skills you need to do a job, or start your own business. The government are backing MSD to support more New Zealanders into work than ever before. To enable us to achieve this, we've received 300 million into our primary wage subsidy product, which is FlexiWage. This will help a wider range of New Zealanders into work around the motu. That's a staggering 40,000 additional FlexiWage placements. FlexiWage offers a range of support to help people gain the skills and experience they need to get in and stay in employment unsubsidised. If your role requires NZQA qualifications up to level 3 and on the job short-term training, FlexiWage can help with some or all of these costs. A wage subsidy also contributes so the business can support the employee to meet the entry-level requirements of the job. In-work support is a wraparound service that helps with keeping employees in employment, and this service is free to employers who take up the FlexiWage offer. FlexiWage now has set rates to provide more certainty for our employers. Our work brokers will work with you and negotiate the level of support that a person needs to meet the entry level of the job requirements. What short-term or on-the-job training is required, and also any NZQA qualifications we'll be looking at as well. The FlexiWage is paid monthly in advance, and there is also a discretionary rate that we have available for some job seekers who have higher complex needs. So you can see the rates there on the screen for the two different types which we would help you determine. Mana and Mahi is another product which was launched in August 2018 and supports people into long-term sustainable employment while gaining an apprenticeship or formal industry qualification. We help employers to recruit people into permanent positions and support them through industry training. MSD recently celebrated reaching its 5,000th Mana and Mahi placement, and this program has been extended out as part of Budget 2022. Mana and Mahi recognises the investment you're making in your employees' future through a range of financial and pastoral supports. Depending on the training pathway and needs of the person that you're employing, Mana and Mahi can provide up to 2,300, including GST, for pre-employment short courses or on-the-job training. There's up to 9,200, including GST, for 1 year towards your employee's industry training course. That's if it's not covered already by the fees-free or targeted training and apprenticeship fund schemes. And there's also a wage subsidy of up to 18,200, including GST, which is paid monthly in advance for 1 year. And that can be prorated sometimes if employees are working part-time. There's also ongoing coaching and mentoring for you and your employee to try and make it a sustainable employment opportunity. Your employee themselves will also have access to help to pay for additional educational support that they may need. So there's up to $2,000 there. They get support to start their qualification or apprenticeship and wraparound pastoral care to help navigate any challenges. They also get incentive payments of up to $3,000 over 1 year, as long as they stay on track. Apprenticeship Boost is another product. It's a payment which helps employers keep and take on new apprentices. It means apprentices can keep earning and training towards their qualifications as the economy recovers from the impacts of COVID-19. The payment is made directly to employers and is available until the end of December 2023. You can get Apprenticeship Boost if your apprentices are enrolled in and engaged in an apprenticeship program approved and funded by the Tertiary Education Commission. You can get it for a maximum of 24 months per apprentice until the initiative ends in December 2023. It's also paid monthly in advance from the date you apply, so you should apply as soon as you can once your apprentice has started training. Apprentices in their first and second year of training get $500 per month, which is paid to the employers. Flexi-wage self-employment provides another avenue for people who are disadvantaged in the labour market to become independent through self-employment. There are some eligibility criteria to meet, both for the applicant and also looking at the suitability and viability of their business idea. The program includes business mentors who can help along the way, but it is important to note that it is a thorough process which does take some time to move through. The program comprises of 3 components: up to $5,000 funding for mentoring and support with business planning, a weekly subsidy during the startup phase of up to $16,800, and up to $10,000 for essential startup costs. These amounts are GST inclusive. There is strict eligibility around both the individual situation and suitability and viability of the business plan, so a chat with one of our work brokers is a good way to see if this program might be right for you. So just to recap here on our employment and recruitment services. The best option if you have any questions is to contact us on this email, which you'll see on the screen. That will get directed to your local team to get in touch with you, or you're most welcome to pop into your local site and ask to see a work broker. Thanks for your time today, and again, thank you to our hosts, Digital Boost and Connected.
Kia ora koutou, Shri Tawhai Aho. I am Early Response Labour Market Advisor, working across the top of the South region. So the Nelson region for MSD, as Anita's already showed us, it covers from Haast to Kaikoura, and it is unique. We have similarities across our region. The top industries are similar, however, how each site works is different. So early response, what is this and why is it different to anything else that MSD has offered before? ER, or early response, is a change in approach. It is looking to be proactive in our labour market. Our labour market is changing, so early response endeavours to respond to these to deliver solutions for the best results for our communities. How do we do this? By working with our 4 R's, which are redeploy, retrain, retain, and redundancy. We'll expand on these a little bit further in the presentation. We are challenging businesses, sectors, and employers to think differently about workforce talent. However, we all basically want the same things. When business and staff do well, so do our communities. So this enables a locally delivered approach. MSD is positioning ourselves differently using all of our connections. Never a better time than now underpins our approach, shifting our response onto early intervention to reduce the number of people falling into hardship and delivering prompt, tailored support for people at risk of job displacement. Workforce challenges are common across our regional New Zealand, and particularly in the top of the South region. Early response works to support with addressing some of these factors, such as underutilisation and seasonal fluctuations. So how do we find the right fit for you and your business? So what we do from redeploy from simple employee share models to formalised transfers between industries. Retraining, this could be as simple as upskilling or a change in skills and expertise within a business, or a complete career change. So retain, so keep your best asset, which is your staff, with financial support and move within your business. Redundancy support, obviously if you make the really tough decision about your business, confidentially we can understand your situation, responding to business closure. Coordinate services and agencies to help you and your employees. So the tailored approach and the collaboration is key to achieving what are the best results for you, your business and your staff. So the focus for early response is to find solutions for individuals and businesses. It's definitely not a one size fits all. We need the whole picture is to be considered and to implement the best solution. We're able to work with all workforce talent, not just job seekers with a benefit history. We realise that changes to workforce affect all parts of our labour market: employees, managers, industries and sectors. So in summary, early response is working for a sustainable workforce to keep New Zealand going. So how? By using our business employment products, leveraging our existing relationships and connecting into both local and central agencies. By supporting businesses to retain, retrain, redeploy or tailor redundancy support for the best results. We aim to be proactive and shape responses to the circumstances to develop and plan together to move forward for employees, employers, and find solutions for our communities. So, early response service, the best way to get in touch with us is with this email address, as Anita has highlighted before. So that's the top of the south, early response at msd.govt.nz. So again, we would like to say thank you to Digital Boost and the Connected team for allowing us to present to this to the conference, and I will finish it up here.
Thanks, Cherie. Just some questions that have come through. So this one's more aimed towards Anita. Can anyone qualify for a flexi wage subsidy?
So the flexi wage subsidy is designed for people who haven't worked for a long time or have difficulty getting or keeping a job. There are some eligibility criteria that we need to look over. But they are no longer required to be receiving a benefit, which has broadened the eligibility for flexi wage by a large amount, which is great. If you're looking for work and think you might be eligible for a flexi wage subsidy, or if you're considering taking on a staff member, our team can assess them or you for eligibility to a whole range of products, including flexi wage.
So if they're thinking about hiring someone, it's great if they get into contact with MSD earlier rather than when they've got the advert out there and things like that. If they come with you with all the information, what the role is, how much they're going to pay, all that sort of stuff, if they come to MSD first, or is it fine if they've advertised for a while and they've got no one coming through? At what point would be a good time to come and talk to a work broker?
So any of those is fine. Obviously earlier would be better because then we can assist you with your recruitment. But if you have already recruited and perhaps found somebody that doesn't meet the entry criteria for your business and is going to need a bit of work to get to the level that you would need them to be, but you're still considering taking them on, you can come to us at that point and we can have a chat to that person and find out about their circumstances and whether they qualify themselves. So yeah, any stage, as long as it's not somebody that you've already taken on, obviously, because yeah.
Cool. So in terms of working out whether flexi wage or apprenticeship boost is a better option or any other services, in terms of the employer coming to you, how do they work it out? Is it best to talk to the work broker first, or is it easier just to go online and just get a rough idea about what service works best for them?
Again, either's fine. There is a lot of information available online about all of the products that I've outlined today. The finer detail on eligibility, though, is probably quite difficult to work out from somebody outside the organisation. So feel free to have a look online, but definitely come and have a chat with our team and we can match you with the best product for the situation. We do often get employers coming to see us looking at different options. Apprenticeship Boost definitely, mana and mahi and flexi wage as well, and not sure which one is the best one for them. It really depends on the level of training and support that the person will need in the workplace. And there's also some financial differences between the products as well. So if you have a chat with us, we can work through the options and put you on the right pathway.
Great. So how would an employer know if they're eligible for flexi wage self-employment support, and how long does it take to work that process through to get an answer at the end of the process?
Yeah, so flexi-wage self-employment support is for individuals that are looking at going into self-employment or starting a business themselves. You would come and have a chat with us. We will run through the eligibility criteria then when we first connect with you around your personal eligibility. From there, we need to assess the eligibility of the business plan itself and financial forecasts for your business idea. Now, this part of the process can take anywhere from around a month if you already have a really well developed plan, or up to sort of 3 months if you need some support, which we can link you in with to create the plan from a mentor. All business plans are vetted by an external agent before a final decision is made, so that takes a little bit of time too. So probably looking around 3 months before a decision's made normally. And then the subsidy funds are released once that final decision is made for any startup grant that the person might be applying for and eligible for. And then the subsidy payments are made monthly in advance. So you'll get your first one of those as well.
That's great, thank you. Is one of those things that people sort of may not be aware of what supports MSD does have for those people who employers who are offering work in terms of getting job seekers into those, and it's good to have that idea about what information they need to have with them. So in terms of does a business have to have a large amount of information next to them when they're talking to you or anything like that? I mean, what sort of information is worthwhile when talking to MSD?
Yeah, so for the business itself, what we really need to see is detail around what the job will entail. So both from an employment perspective, how many hours a week, what the person will be paid, those kind of things, but also from a training perspective, what skills or training the person needs to get them up to speed in the job. Those are things that will help us determine what type and level of support will need to be put in place. Around the individual's eligibility, generally it's better if we can connect with that individual themselves, because we're looking at their disadvantage within the labour market. Sometimes the questions we ask are sort of more personal around their circumstances, which we don't need to share necessarily with the employer, but we do need to assess to determine their eligibility. So often if they have a person in mind that they're wanting to get assessed for subsidy, we'll have both the conversation with the employer and another conversation with the individual employee, prospective employee.
If I need help from a mentor to put together a business idea, do I have to pay, or will MSD help this, or is there a free mentor service that allows me to sort of put my idea into in a decent format to bring to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So part of the program, the FlexiWage Self-Employment Program, is up to $5,000 for business training and advice. That doesn't come directly to the person, it goes to the providers of those services, so the mentors. In our region, we are really lucky to have some great mentors available. You probably heard from some of the other presenters at this conference, some of the industry organisations. We have mentors. Most places there's a mentor close by that can meet with people. And yeah, so that's all funded. They're also, the mentors that provide this service are also well aware of the eligibility requirements for the program. So they'll be making sure that the business plan you're developing is of a quality or a level required to make application, but it will also be a really good business plan and financial forecast that will both bode you well while you're entering into business and give you a really good platform to start your business from, a really good framework. But it'll also be something that you can use in future if you are approaching anybody else for finance or different grants or anything that may be available. So yeah, whether you progress to the full flexi wage program or not, that business training and advice grant is a really valuable tool as well.
Awesome. And I suppose going to Cherie in terms of looking at the early response and what it does for, or what it can do for people. What's the difference between early response and early resolution?
Great question. So early resolution is a service that the Ministry of Business Innovation and Employment, or MB, provide. It's a free phone-based service for employees and employers, providing assistance to resolve workplace issues early. So quickly and informally before things progress to serious or need more formal processes. Early response is an MSD approach, which aims to shift focus from early intervention to reduce the number of people falling into hardship and delivery of prompt, tailored support for people at risk of job displacement. So I guess early response is all about workforce change, both increasing and decreasing.
So how do you expect early response to impact the average business in terms of what they do on a sort of day-to-day, year-by-year basis?
So some of the things that we see in regional labour markets is that obviously when a business is particularly starting out, they may grow, or there may be peak periods when they experience a real requirement to have more staff on deck. So our approach is to try and for people to contact us early. We can support them both with their recruitment of additional staff and also have a plan for those staff for if, for example, the work is only fixed term, you're not able to offer people anymore, that we can be involved to be able to support those people to be able to go to the next body of work and support employers to stay in touch with their workforce so that if required again in the next year or the next season, that they're able to be there and access. I guess it's taking out some of the seasonality. And also, obviously, if the business is making a really tough decision to reduce staff or cut hours, that we can informally or formally help with their underutilisation, or perhaps redeployment if that's what's required. Or perhaps there is part of your business that is really busy. For example, if you're customer facing and you haven't been really busy, but you have a logistics part of your business that is going gangbusters, that we can actually help to support to retrain or reskill those employees so that you can retain them and obviously put them into a different area of your business. We use the same employment products as Anita has highlighted as well. So there's nothing different from that in the support products that we offer. It's just a different approach, and we have the time to be able to work with all talent. So not just necessarily people that have a history of benefit, but we are able to work with any workforce talent.
And what's the potential impact on the employee, the people looking for work, with a sort of a more sort of seasonal or less seasonal, more consistent employment?
Yeah, so what we try and do is take out the peaks and troughs for the employee and be able to obviously, hopefully, if it is a short-term work that they're being offered, to stitch together so that it becomes quite an attractive offer for them to have continuous work in our labour market. We don't, it allows people then to be able to make some decisions about not only rental accommodation, being able to buy a house, those conversations with the bank. If they're able to have a sustained length of employment, it makes a real big impact to the individuals. But to those businesses, it also means that those skilled staff are available and ready for them to be utilised again in the next peak period. So it actually helps to take some of the angst for businesses It takes some of the pressure off staff or employees when they are looking to obviously stay in an area. And obviously then our communities do really well as well. So when business and people and individuals are doing well, our communities do much better.
Great. It's one of those sort of things. It is fine balancing a need of the employer and the employee. Both need each other just as much as the other. So there has to be some sort of way of making some joined up thinking and sort of, as I say, removing those peaks and troughs from both the employer and the employee, that they know that in a year's time when they need an employee that they'll come around again because they're on this cycle that they'll all come back when they're needed, rather than the potential of them going out of the region in a way and losing that investment in training and knowledge that they've put in during one season or a season, that they're actually able to retain those staff in the region through consistent employment is really an important one, I think. So yeah, no, it's a wonderful idea. I don't think we've got any more questions coming through at the moment. So thank you to Anita and thank you to Cherie for giving us their insight into MSD and what it can provide for employers and employees.
Yeah, thanks, James. If I can just echo what James has said there and pass on my thanks to the both of you for joining us. And I think, make some really, really good points there, James. And, MSD is synonymous with beneficiaries, but actually MSD is so much more than that, and it's lovely to see a new proactive approach in the early response team coming in to really support our economy, and exciting products, obviously flexi-wage self-employment for those who've got a business idea, and great funding and support to kind of get that off the ground. So some really encouraging products from MSD. Thank you for joining us and sharing that information.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
So for those of you who have joined us, and if you leave this conference and forget everything, please head over to Connected. James, Anne and Joey in the various regions will be able to support you with your queries and direct you to the right place, whether that's MSD or one of the other agencies joining us here in the conference over the next couple of days. Contact details for James, Anne and Joey are on screen. The reason Digital Boost is here to support this conference is we want to support all New Zealand small business in their digital transformation journey. We've got a whole suite of learning products on our platform, how-to videos if you want to build a website, if you're looking for information on your accounting system, if you're looking for information on how to gain efficiencies through productivity tools. Please jump on to Digital Boost. It is free, completely free, and we've got a great support team there. They're an award-winning support team available to help you Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. Additionally, we've got a new product called Checkable. So if you already have a digital presence online, pop your website into Checkable and it will run a full diagnostic for you and tell you how to optimize the areas that we think that you might be able to enhance your services in. That brings to a close our first day of the conference. So thank you again to Cherie and Anita from the MSD joining us this afternoon. We will be back again tomorrow, bringing you sessions from our regional support agency. So as Anita mentioned, some of those support agencies may have those mentors there. So if you'd like to join us and hear about those mentoring services, we've got sessions running from midday tomorrow. So there'll be the local chambers and some of our economic development agencies. Once again, thanks so much for joining the webinar or joining us via our live stream, and we do hope to see you in future sessions. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.